In this video, we'll be discussing how to complete the shoes for your celebrity. Again, I'll be sticking with male shoes since I'll be building off of my Ryan Gosling male celebrity from my previous two tutorial videos. So the first thing our notes say under our shoes section in the middle of page 2 on the note sheet is we're going to do a Google search for a large photograph of one shoe. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and type in male shoes. And again, all of our tools need to show up by clicking that tools button, and then we can change the size to large. Now, what you'll notice or what you'll find is a lot of the shoes that will pop up will be duplicates like this one. You can use an image like this, but you just need to make sure that you have the ability to see one full shoe. So for example, these black pairs of shoes in the bottom center, I can see one full shoe. It's not cut off. I wouldn't want to use the one in back because I can't see that entire shoe. Same thing with these. All right, I can see this full shoe. It might not be at the right angle, so you probably want to try to avoid pictures like this one or this one. But you have to be able to see one full shoe at least. So decide what kind of shoe that you want to wear. I did a black polo, so I'm probably going to try to find some black shoes to go ahead and wear with this. You dress your celebrity however you want to, but what I'm looking for right now is just a pair of non-ugly black shoes. All right, maybe not black. We'll do these. Okay, so it has a nice side profile. It has a clean, well-lit background. There's a little bit of a shadow here that I'll need to kind of clean up, but this image will go ahead and work. So for time's sake, I'm just going to go ahead and right-click, save my image as. And what we need to go ahead and do is save it to your Google Drive folder. I'm already in my celebrity apparel folder. I'm just going to call this one male shoes, or male shoe, I guess I could call it, and save that up. It has a very funky file extension. I don't know if this is going to let me open it. Let's find out. File open. Remember, everything we open up through Photoshop, you always need to go to file open. So I'm going to come to my celebrity apparel folder and I'm going to attempt to open up my male shoe. It's reading this weird file extension I've never seen before. So again, I don't know if it's going to let me open it. Beautiful, it is. So what I'm going to do, just in case, is I'm going to save this right now. I don't want that to show up again. I'm going to save it as a JPEG into my Google Drive just to make sure I can open it in the future. All right. So first things first, we need to unlock your background layer. Otherwise, you're going to get weird, angry messages from Photoshop. So I'm going to double click on my background layer and I'm just going to call this one male shoe. Can't spell today, and press OK. Now my layer is unlocked, and what I want to do now is just select the one shoe, and you'll see why in a little bit. I know everybody wears two shoes for the most part. I'll show you what we're going to do with the one shoe moving forward. All right, so again, I'm going to try to use my quick selection tool just to save some time. I wouldn't normally use the quick selection tool for these, but I'm trying to keep my videos nice and short. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in so we can see things a little bit better. You can see my quick selection tool again kind of has a mind of its own. So I'm going to hold down that Alt key to remove from some of my selection because we're keeping that true natural shape of the shoe intact. Let's see why I don't use the quick selection tool. It doesn't do a great job of picking up those small, fine details. And then I also want to remove the bottom part of the shoe here, and it's going to start grabbing random stuff on me. So we want to bring all of that back to keep the true natural shape. It's not working. So we're just going to come in with my lasso tool. Whoops. I wanted to add to my selection, not subtract from it. Uh-oh. Now I'm moving the selection. Let's try that again. Okay. Selection tool's got a mind of its own today. So shift to add. There we go. And I want to add all of this. There we go. I want to take away these little marching ants here. I want to add this little selection where the shadow is. I didn't get quite close enough. And again, there might be better tools to use than what I'm using. Totally fine. Okay, so Control 0 is going to fit to screen, and then I'm going to press the delete key and Control D for select, deselect. So I have one shoe left. It looks a little funny down at the bottom. I would expect you to tidy that up, but for all intents and purposes right now, we're just going to go ahead and call it good and move forward. So step number 3 underneath the shoes section in your notes, it says use the move tool, and we're going to move the shoe to the stick figure image window. What I want to do first is actually save my cleaned up version, and I'm going to save it with layers. So I'm going to save it as a PSD, and then I'm just going to check that box so I don't keep getting that popped up. And now I'm going to select my move tool. I'm going to click on my shoe, and I don't have my stick figure layer open because my program quit on me. So I need to open up my male stick figure. Okay, so here it is. I'm going to drag out these layers so we can see them a little bit better. And I'm going to toggle back to my shoe. Still on my move tool. I'm going to click and drag up to my tab, and then I'm going to let go in my image window. Again, my shoe is absolutely massive. I would take off points here if I were grading my own because I didn't keep that true natural shape. And then down here isn't so great either, where I was commenting about it before. You would need to clean that up. I'm going to move forward for time's sake, but I think you get the idea. So what we need to do, step 4, it says move the shoe over the stick figure where the shoe would go. All right, obviously this sucker is massive. So step number 5 says if you need to scale your image, which we do, we can go ahead and scale it. Edit, down to transform, scale, or those of you who like shortcuts, you can do Control T, commands for a Mac. That's what I'm so used to. I apologize. So Control T will automatically bring up that bounding box for us, which is really nice. And again, we want to keep that nice and proportionate. So I'm going to click and drag a corner handle. I'm going to press the return key to apply. And then my shoe is going to sit right where the foot would go. But now my pants are not hanging over my shoe like I want them to. So step number 6 is saying that you need to reorder your layers so the pants overlay the shoe. So what I can do is I can take my jeans and move them up, or I can take my shoe layer and drag it below my jeans so that my shoe overhangs where my pants go. And again, I'm getting those snaps, those purple lines that you see show up. Those are super annoying. So there is a way to turn that off. So if we come up to our menu bar and we go to View, Snap, we can deselect that, and then you won't get those purple lines and all the glitchiness. Purple lines still show up in the new version. Or you can just simply use the arrow keys. Okay, so I know that looks kind of funny. Some of you will want to come in and do the edit, transform, and skew. Totally fine. You can make your shoes look like, they're clown shoes and distort them a little bit so that it looks a little bit better perspective wise if you want to, totally fine. All right, so I use the shoe as my right shoe. So I'm going to come in my layers and actually call this one male right shoe. All right, step number 7, if it doesn't match up properly, use the transform controls, which we just did. Step number 8 says copy the shoe layer. So the layer that I just created and brought in, I'm going to click and drag that down to this little plus sign icon at the bottom of my layers palette. So just to the left of the garbage can, and I'm going to let go. Notice that it makes a copy of that layer, but it doesn't look like anything happened. I'm going to rename this layer because I'm going to make it my left shoe, and I'm going to get rid of copy. My left shoe is really there. It's just copied in the same exact spot. All right. Pants are a little bit shorter on that side because of the skew perspective. So there's my shoe. Some students also like to flip their shoe, which is going to come up next. Step number 9, it says flip the copied shoe horizontally. And how we do that is edit, down to transform, and we want to flip it horizontally. So down towards the bottom of that list, it flips that shoe, and we need to make sure that the shoe fits over the opposite foot. All right, so I'm going to line that up. Again, it's going to look funky and freaky, and that's totally fine. My shoes are a little bit bigger than my pants and my shirt. So I'm going to actually hold down the shift key, and I'm going to select both my shoes, and then I'm going to do edit, transform, scale, or control T for short. I'm actually going to make my shoes slightly smaller, scale those down, and then move my left shoe over a little bit just so they're a little bit more proportionate to the rest of my celebrity. Step number 10, rename the left shoe layer left shoe and the right shoe right shoe. I already did that. I'm working ahead a little bit. And then what we need to do is save the celebrity as a PSD since we made all of these changes. So Photoshop document, yes, I want to save. Always replace, otherwise it will not save your changes that you've made. In the next video, we are going to take a look at the celebrity's face, and the following video are the arms. So we're cleaning up a little bit. So if you hide the stick figure layer, that's kind of what you're working with. So if it looks funny from this perspective when you hide the stick figure, you might want to do some transformations. My shirt's probably a little bit big proportionate wise. I could go in and clean that up by selecting the shirt layer, Control T, scaling things down a little bit if I need to, repositioning and whatnot. Again, we want to try to keep things proportionate to the size and overall shape of our celebrity. So the next video is going to cover the celebrity's face and how to deal with the hair.